So I thought I need to do another video for my life coaching program, and this is about boundaries, and it's something that I am very what's the word? I believe in boundaries, and there's different kinds of boundaries. There's those where you know, I'd say good and bad boundaries. So good boundaries is like getting over a what's the word? Phobia, for example, and not being scared of spiders or heights. And then you've got bad boundaries where you insult somebody, just because you feel that you have a right to have a pop at that person. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because there have been boundaries that I've crossed that I'm not proud of, but I've dealt with them, because when you cross a boundary, it can when you cross a boundary which is sort of not even should be in someone's vocabulary, then it becomes something else. It becomes a unhuman practice, and I have a very, very huge conscience, and so even the minor things, like and then there's this disgusting, but I had food right near the bins in my estate. I felt absolutely so ashamed for doing that, and that to me was like one of the worst things I could have done, but I did, being kids. But then there's other boundaries, like at the moment I'm doing the child safety, or putting a child safety course together, and things like paedophilia and rape and child abuse. It's just something that it's not even something that I'd ever think about, and those that do, it's crossing a boundary that is dangerous and immoral and just wrong. And I'm not saying that people who do that can't change, but boundaries are there for a reason, and there's certain boundaries that once you cross that line, it's hard to turn that around, because with those sorts of acts comes with labels, and once you're labelled into that category, then it can be something that is horrific, and for me it's not something that would even venture into my mind. I believe that family are family, and kids are kids, and they should be allowed to be kids, and have Barbie dolls, or dress up like princesses, and have a windy house, for example. And I think that if you feel you've crossed a boundary that you're finding hard to reverse, then you do need to sit down and really address what it is that's making you go down that line. I want to be honest. I have smoked. I've never done drugs, but I want to admit to it, that I got into watching porn, and I was very ashamed of myself at watching that, and it's taken a lot for me to admit that, but I did. But I'm so glad after all that I've experienced in the last 6 years, glad that I was able to put that to a stop, and I dealt with it, because I didn't want to be that sort of person who watches that sort of thing, and it's not real anyway, to be honest. It's not real. That is not making love. That is not what sex should be about. It's exploitation at the end of the day, and I'm glad that I stopped and didn't go further into that, into continuing that on, because it makes you feel so like ashamed, and it has no benefits at all, from my own opinion. And but I never went any further. I've never, I believe that I've learnt so much in the last year, because last year, I'm going to get upset now. Last year, oh God. Last year, I was being targeted in a very bad way, and wasn't being believed, but I couldn't believe it myself, really. And it's taught me that that things like sex and being an adult, and that I am a good person. I'm not someone who abuses people in any way. And if someone did say that, you did do that to me and I wasn't aware of it, I'd be absolutely horrified. But I can swear hand on heart that I've never abused anybody or hurt anyone maliciously. If I have a go at somebody, it's because I'm fighting back, and I learned so much about myself last year and this year, that I'm very strong-willed and can take punches, in my direction, but I always come back fighting, and I have. And it made me realise that, sex isn't something that you should abuse. It should be something that should be about having a strong connection with somebody, and being absolutely, head over heels in love. And I was in a wrong relationship. I felt like, that the person I was with we were like roommates rather than husband and wife, and I knew when I moved out of Epsom, when I did that would be the end of that. And even though there's been people that have not understood that, I know it was the right thing for me to do, and now I am due to move on from here. There's just things being put into place ready for when I do, and I can't wait, because I always know when I've outstayed in a place, and so there is a plans being made with the help of a new man in my life, where I will be moving on, and I'll still be doing these videos, by the way. There's just that lots of things are coming my way, which I've wanted all my life, and I've got lots of things to look forward to now. And sometimes you do have to cross some boundaries to get to a place where you feel sure of yourself and to learn about yourself. And I learned that I wasn't that sort of person that was into pornography or anything like that. I just wanted somebody to love me out of this world, who didn't act as if I had the plague, and was potty about me. And thankfully I found that person, even though I wasn't being believed about that at one point, but I have. And I know that, I've got a lot of strength in me, and so have you. If you've crossed a boundary which makes you feel, at the beginning, it makes you feel like, and you have a good purpose for doing that, but afterwards makes you feel really, down, and makes you feel demoralised, then it means that you need to stop it. And the way of doing it is by changing your mindset, and I have, I just wanted my reason for why I nearly, went down the route of, using porn as a way of, thinking that was, what, how to attract somebody. It's not, and it's disgusting, and it's not real. It's not real at all. It's just two people who are, mad about sex and just want to use it to, make money out of, and that's all it is. It's not real love. It's not what sex is about. And if you find that you are crossing that kind of boundary, then you can stop it. And the way of doing it is by asking yourself questions like, do I want to be doing doing that for the rest of my life, or watching that for the rest of my life? Do I want to, use this as a way of being resentful to somebody? No, I didn't. And so I stopped myself, and from last year, and what happened last year, where I was being hurt in a very bad way, that I was never that person, and I am, someone who believes in true love and compassion and connection, and that's what it's about, and that's a good boundary to cross. I've crossed that boundary of knowing the good side of sex, not the bad side, and that's what pornography is. It's the bad side of sex. It's not anything good for me, and it's taken a lot for me to do this type of video to talk about it, but I am, because I know there's probably other people that are, in a relationship where they resent their partner because they don't don't have that closeness where you want somebody, as soon as you walk in the door, they're wanting to, help pull you into their arms and love you out of this world. And it was resentment really towards the person that I was with, because he didn't see me in a like, never saw me as sexy or anything like that, and I felt like I was just there to share a roof under, and that's not what relationships are about. Relationships should be connection and be absolutely crazy in love, where you just want to be with that person all the time and be able to talk to without the other person interrupting. And I've done a video about point scoring, and people like to play games, and I felt like I was doing that a lot. And so I'm now in a place where I feel really good about myself. I'm doing very positive things to help people, because that's what I realised I've been put on this planet for, to help others with struggles. Because I've struggled with self-confidence, I've struggled with food, I did have an eating disorder at one point, I did have postnatal depression, which I never talked about with anybody. I was diagnosed with having psychosis because of something that was happening around me at the time. And it's been a very learning 6 years of my life, where now I actually feel like I am in the right frame of mind again. I know myself well. I know I'm not that sort of person. It was never to be like, because I felt I wanted, you know, meaningless love or sex. I wanted someone to be potty about me, you know, and I have found that person, and so can you. And you know, boundaries are there to make you see that, you know, this boundary is good, this boundary is bad, and it's up to you which one you choose. But if you choose that side and you're feeling, you know, horrified yourself, then you need to change it back to that. And to do that is to sit down and write down your boundaries. You know, what are your beliefs? And beliefs can have a huge impact on boundaries and lines that you know you should or shouldn't cross. And I've, you know, grown up a lot in the last 6 years. I've had to really get to grips with myself and learn that, you know, I am better than that, you know, and I knew I was, you know, and it was never ever because I wanted, you know, like I say, to be disgusting. It wasn't that at all. And knowing what other people have done, worse than that, you know, it's made me see that I am not that sort of person, and I would never, ever, you know, take sex for granted in any way, because it should be about being in love and, like I say, having that connection, and crossing a good boundary where you're with somebody who just wants to hold you in their arms and kiss you, you know, non-stop, is what it should be about. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you're well and staying strong and safe, and know that, you know, you can, you know, if you've got an addiction or an eating disorder, you can come out of it, because that's also kind of crossing the boundary, because, you know, having an eating disorder is like a vicious circle. And if you want me to talk about that again, because I already did some videos talking about that, but if you would like me to talk more about having an eating disorder, then I, you know, be happy to do that. So anyway, many thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.